Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute, a long minute. I'll go ahead and be honest, the reason I don't upload on here very often is because I quite frankly hate editing videos. So you'll get the oddball video from me on here, but not very reoccurring. But in case you couldn't tell by the title of today's video, I am reorganizing my bookshelves that you see behind me. I essentially got these new books from Hemingway Books. They were doing a sale and I took advantage of it because I've been wanting these books for a while. And they are gorgeous. And with new books means I need to reorganize some things because I just don't have room on my shelves as is for the new books. I have another set of new books that are forthcoming that are Catherine Cowell's collection that she came out with. I'm going to be able to kind of leave the amount of room I need, or at least I think I need, for those books because it's just 2 series and I actually have a copy of one of the series already, so I'm going to use that series to kind of estimate, 2 more of those with how much I need. I got these acrylic like riser things off of Amazon that I'm hoping on at least the bottom 2 rows where my shelves are a little bit deeper and taller and wider, that I can maybe put some risers behind them and double layer books, specifically books that I know like maybe I've read those books already or I'm just not foreseeing reading them too much in the future. So putting them kind of where I don't actually need access to them at all times. The truth of the matter is I just have too many books and it's getting to a point that I kind of have to double layer because I just have ran out of room, quite frankly. After testing the shelves with just my hand weight on them and pushing down on them a little bit, I don't know if they're going to be sturdy enough, so we might have to stick to only things that are going to be paperbacks. So we'll see. Plan is to reorganize. I need to dust, I need to clean, and just try to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with all these books because there's quite frankly too many. And no, you can't have too many books, but you can when you don't have room for them. So we're going to have to figure all of that out. I also do have 2 rotating bookshelves. There's one right here behind me and then there's one behind the camera. This one's only a 3 shelf one. The other one's a 5 shelf. That needs reorganized. I think I know what I want to do with this one. I think I have enough nonfiction books to fill this one, so I'm gonna change that one out from being Harry Potter. One of the new sets of books that I got was the whole Sarah J. Maas collection, and I'm not getting rid of my originals, so that's gonna expand into 2 shelves probably at least. Maybe 2.5, I don't know. Sarah be popping out them books like crazy. The Hunger Games, I got 2 new sets of that, so that's probably gonna be a shelf and a half now. Jane Austen has quickly outgrown her 2 shelves, so she's gonna get 2.5 shelves now. Catherine Cowell's, if I'm not able to double layer, is gonna need at least 2 shelves. I think I can double layer hers, and I think I can double layer Jane Austen with the risers, so hopefully not having to expand those. Cassandra Clare is currently a shelf and a half. I would love to get her down to a shelf. I got these new covers and they have gorgeous sprayed edges that look like stained glass windows, and I really want to show them off, but the covers themselves are also amazing. So I think my plan is to put the covers of these on the ones I have so the covers can be shown on the binding, and then put those covers on the new ones so I can show off the sprayed edges on these. So in doing that without the risers, that's going to be 2.5 shelves. Reorganizing my bookshelves are usually like a heavy lift. And in the past, I've always had Hallie come help me. With this one, I don't really have a game plan, so I didn't want her to have to sit here while I try to figure that out. So I'm doing it on my own today. But even with Hallie, this usually takes a few hours. And by myself, the last time I did it by myself, it took me like a whole half of a day because my brain, I overthink everything. And I also think too much into it. Like, some of you might be watching going, why is it that big of a deal? Just put the books on your shelves. No, my organization brain, they must be like in certain spots, and it's a whole thing. And if you've watched my organization videos before, then you know. You know. Okay, bye. I would like to also point out before I start Modern Family, interrupting myself when I said I wouldn't. Phil Dunphy, me if I was in the show. Love Phil Dunphy, would take a bullet for Phil Dunphy. Also love Cam. When I watched this the first time, I went so back and forth between which one was my favorite, but honest to goodness, like, they're kind of the same person in a way, but Phil just like, Phil's a treasure. He's just a national treasure, and that's all I'll say. Cam is America's sweetheart. Phil is a national treasure. Okay. Okay, so here's what happened. So I think that the Throne of Glass series, I don't know if it like is the UK hardcover version, so the dimensions changed, or, and someone can let me know because I genuinely don't know. So the Throne of Glasses that I have are the old hardcover from like the original covers that had like the anime looking characters on them. That's the versions I have, and the ones that came are the ones with the new covers underneath. So it could be that when the new covers stuff came out, they changed the dimensions of the hardcover, or they're the UK editions. I don't know, but either way, the covers don't fit my old series, and the ones that I had don't fit the new ones. And I could sit here and reshape the covers to fit, but I do not feel like doing that because they're nice covers and I don't want to put a bunch of creases in them. So I'm gonna leave the old covers on there that I had, which are different covers. They're Nerdy Ink covers. They're gorgeous. I was kind of upset to have to hide them a little bit, so don't have to. I did kind of decide too that like the binding on those is probably a little bit shelf prettier than the others maybe. So I'm not swapping the covers around on them. I am still gonna show the pages on the Throne of Glass ones, the new ones, and then the old ones will just have the cover I had on there. Like I said, they're Nerdy Ink covers, so they're still gorgeous, so I'm not upset about that. Just kind of a bummer. I wanted to show the new ones, but that's okay. So the resetting of covers is almost done. I have to do Crescent City and ACOTAR, and then I'll be done with changing over covers, and I can start pulling books and dusting my shelves and everything. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna to try and get these shelves dusted fast because I don't actually know how much weight this table can handle, and I got nervous about halfway through, so I tried not to put as big stacks, so there's a lot back here. But these are all my books. Everything is off the shelves. I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'm gonna dust, and then we're gonna try and figure some things out. I did find my old original covers of Court of Thorns and Roses, which I thought I got rid of. The ones that I got off of another site, and they were great when I got them, but I'm kind of over them a little bit, and they're not really the best material. They've ripped a couple places because they're real thin. It's like paper, like actual sheets of paper. So I'm gonna take them off and put the original covers on, the sprayed edges ones that I'm gonna face. And I also need to test these risers and see what they can handle. I'll show you what my shelves look like all empty, and then we'll start dusting. you can tell, my phone died. So we're back. Bookshelves are done. I will show you the B-reel footage. But everything is done. Everything is somewhat where I was hoping it would end up. I left a little room for Catherine's new books that are coming, but I don't think I'll be able to dedicate 2 shelves just to her. I think I'll have to share with some other stuff. But everything is on the shelves. The only thing that didn't get put on was the Shadow and Bone series that I have by Leigh Bardugo. But it's not like, it's one I don't want to get rid of, but it's not like something I'm super stressed about having on my shelves. So she's kind of just stacked here in the corner randomly. And I also did have to combine some things on my shelves that have my dark romance. I had to put some like romance stuff, some young adult, some historical fiction. It kind of got random over here. And quite frankly, there's nothing I can do about it. Everything has everything I wanted to be on it. I did get all my Harry Potters and Cassandra Clare's over here. I got all my nonfictions and like, you know, any like young adult romance or just things that I didn't care to have on my shelf. My main shelves are over here, which is kind of what happened with the 2 side tables as well. I got all of my Jane Austens on a shelf with some room to spare, along with some other classic romance books. What else? I got all of my Lockwood & Co. stuff together, which was fun. I ended up using all the risers, and I think they really came in handy because I definitely wouldn't have been able to fit all these books on my shelf otherwise. I genuinely believe that. I tried to keep some themes similar, like with the Hunger Games, I put other dystopian novels, so that was fun, including newer purchase, the Dread comic book from Smosh. This is kind of dystopian, it's zombie apocalypse stuff, so I put it in there. I did have to move some things with Sarah J. Maas. I did end up having to kind of combine some things, and some things are kind of split. So like the first Crescent City book is over here, and then the rest of them are over here, and then the first 3 ACOTAR are over here, and the last ones are over there. So I did have to kind of split some series up a little bit, but they're kind of all in line, so it didn't really bother me that much. Things are done. So I'm gonna go finish a TikTok, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please comment down below if you have any questions about how I organize my shelves, or any questions about any of the books that I have, because I have a lot of special editions, and I'd be happy to link them. Go support those creators because they do some amazing work. Subscribe if you haven't already. I can't guarantee when the next video will be out, but subscribe if you don't already so you can get updates on my future videos. And if you don't already, you'll have seen them across the screen at some point, but follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I have a Bookstagram, a travel Instagram, and a TikTok that has everything on it. The travel Instagram kind of has like conventions and stuff too, so not just purely like traveling out of state, sometimes just traveling out of town. I don't know what else to say, but thank you guys so much for watching this. This was chaotic. Sorry my phone died so you didn't get to see the rest of it, but hopefully you enjoyed what you did see. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!